the man, the myth, the legend. We want him as president. Welcome to another character breakdown on The Rock, Dwayne Johnson Jr. And in today's video, we're going to get into the 6 traits that he has that makes him extremely charismatic and loved by everyone. So let's get into the video. So why is The Rock so loved by pretty much everybody around him? You know, he's done movies that's gone worldwide all the way to China. Every single person loves The Rock. And I noticed that there was specifically 6 traits that he has that most people don't have, that if you start using as well, you can become extremely charismatic and loved as well. So let's start off with the very first characteristic, which is obviously The Rock has a very resonant voice.
Sideways.
Sideways, yes.
And throw up against the wall, which
yes.
I don't think I've ever seen in a movie.
Well, it's one thing if you pick somebody up like this, but
yeah.
I think you pick them up and turn them this way. Yes.
That must have been fun for Scott.
Scott loved it.
Scott loved it.
Scott
He's like,
loved it.
Can we do one more take, please?
Scott hated it. He hated being held up, jacked up sideways
and then
like
being choked as well.
And then being choked.
But he was
yes.
funny in it, though, at least.
Now, he doesn't have an aggressive voice where it's extremely deep and very loud, but it's very resonant. You could tell he's talking mainly from his chest and from his diaphragm. This is something that I talk about often, which is you need to be expressing your vocal tonality through your diaphragm. You know, if you breathe deeply, your vocal tonality, instead of being it through the neck or through the nose, it comes from your diaphragm. So that voice is extremely capturing as soon as he starts talking. The second thing you'll notice alongside with his, very resonant voice is he exaggerates a lot of emotions.
So basically, it's like, there's the lessons here. So here's where your dad, this particular thing happened.
It seems like a terrible idea. I thought it was a great idea at that time, by the way. You got to call me before you have another one of these ideas.
Call you next time. It's all the places I did bad. What do you think, Jimmy?
This is Daddy's favorite crack house.
Oh my God.
Not that bad?
It's not that bad. It's funny you should say crack, because...
When he smiles, you notice him laughing up, and he's very expressive as he's feeling the emotions. Instead of just laughing, he actually uses his entire body to laugh. And you'll see this in interviews when he laughs, he's ha ha ha. He's just fully expressing himself during the interviews. When he's expressing any emotions, he tends to exaggerate the emotions because he understands that when he exaggerates the emotions, you're going to feel it as well. And as long as you feel it, now you're encaptured. Now you're actually following every word, everything that he does. Another thing that you see often, and he goes back and forth with one of his best friends, Kevin Hart, he's constantly giving these backhanded humorous compliments.
Yeah, and I think there's a mutual respect that Kevin and I have, and we have a lot of common friends in our business, and when we first got together for Central Intelligence, a movie we did 3-4 years ago, we thought we were gonna have some pretty good chemistry, but then it really exploded into a really cool bond and brotherhood. There is a mutual admiration. Kevin has a lot of drive and ambition. His mouth is like the Energizer Bunny, but that's okay. I just kind of look by that. But I do have a tremendous amount of respect for this guy, and we always have a what?
I gave all. I was very positive the whole way through.
No, I know, but
yeah, but I didn't throw any shots.
That wasn't a shot.
But you waited for me to finish.
Energizer Bunny is actually a good thing.
That's why I don't like to go first.
You see that?
That's
Because
why I
I'm
don't
very
like to go
smart.
first.
Yeah, you go first.
You see what I'm saying? You see what he did there, don't you?
Even though that he's quote unquote dissing the person, he's saying it in a very positive, lighthearted way, which makes the other person like him even more. And this is because it's so polarizing. The way that you can actually start using this with women or people in general is when you're talking to them and you want to really polarize the conversation so they're encaptured, is find out something about them and simply tease them about it in a very lighthearted manner. This way, when you actually do this, you're going to start actually and capturing the people's attention, because even though it's very lighthearted and positive and they feel positive, it's something that is a tease. You're challenging the other person and they're going to see you as very charismatic. Next thing, which is pretty obvious, The Rock is huge. He looks like a boulder. He's massive, and when you look at him, you think of him as this super aggressive guy. He's jacked and he looks huge. He looks like the real life Hulk, but his personality is very kind and sweet.
Hello. How are you?
I love your movie.
You love my movies. Thank you so much for loving my movies. I appreciate that. You're such a smart girl already. Is this your daddy? Is he in the military? Wow. He's your superhero? What's his name? Brandon? Awesome. Where is he? Is he stationed someplace right now? Ah, got it. Okay. Hey, can we get a picture?
He's very gentle. He's very sweet towards other people. He's very humble. And because of this, again, there's that polarity, there's that contrast between what you believe about him and who he actually is. Fifth trait is he has a general positive outlook on life.
When I got cut from Canada, I had $7 in my pocket. And I always tell that story. So now my production company is $7, advertising agency is $7, everything is $7. So I always remember that. What helps me is to keep the hard times in the front of my mind, because it allows me to go into these big moments that I've worked my ass off, and you guys have worked your ass off. It allows me to go into these big moments with a different perspective. What it also does for me, and again, this is what works for me. Like, I keep my back, excuse my language, my back is up against this motherfucker. Every day, it's against this fucking wall. Excuse my language, ladies in the room. But it's up against this motherfucker because it's what I believe in. And when my back is against this motherfucker, then there's nowhere to go. But that way. That's it.
You know, The Rock has been through so much shit. He had $7 in his pocket at one point. He had to go through all these trials and tribulations in his life. But every single time he's telling his story, he always does it with a general positive outlook. And people who are positive, they tend to be more charismatic simply because when you are positive around other people, they feel positive as well. And because they feel positive, now they want to be around you more and more. The truth and secret behind charismatic people is that they're very attractive. It's like a magnet. You want to go towards them. And because he's so positive, it actually shows that in the future, in terms of evolutionary psychology, he's going to have more resources in life. And positive people always tend to gain more positive people in their life, which is a feedback loop that just keeps bringing more positivity into your life, better people in your life. And that way, because you're positive, you're going to be able to be very charismatic around others. And last but not least, which I think is one of the most important traits that The Rock has, is he's very vulnerable about his weaknesses and shortcomings.
I found that with depression, one of the most important things you could realize is that you're not alone. You're not the first to go through it. You're not gonna be the last to go through it. And oftentimes it happens. You feel like you're alone, and you feel like it's only you, and you're in your bubble. And I wish I had someone at that time who could just pull me aside and, hey, it's gonna be okay. It'll be okay. So I wish I knew that. You just gotta remember. Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith. And on the other side of your pain is something good.
You know, you expect this guy who's confident, who's happy, who has the body, who has the dreams that you wish, to be very, positive all the time, this perfect person. But he starts sharing about his shortcomings. He starts sharing about his weaknesses. And this actually shows true strength in the other person. It shows that you're actually trusting of other people. And because you trust other people with your weaknesses and your shortcomings, they can trust you as well. And because he has this high level of trust around other people, now you see him as charismatic. Now you are really attracted to that person. You have a deep connection with that person, especially mixed in with the emotional factor where he's sharing his vulnerable weaknesses and shortcomings, and he's emotional about it. Now you're also captured into those emotions as well. And at the same time, when you're vulnerable around other people, what you're essentially telling them is that you think that you're good enough, or else you wouldn't share it. You know, most people, they try to overcompensate their shortcomings. They try to overcompensate their weaknesses. They try to always protect their pride. You know, no, I'm not wrong. I'm perfect. This is who I am. And they always try to overcompensate instead of actually looking at their weaknesses, looking at their shortcomings, accepting it, and being able to actually change that behavior. And when you're able to push that out to other people and show that you understand your weaknesses and your shortcomings, then they will trust you even more, okay? So those are the 6 traits that The Rock has that makes him extremely charismatic. I want you to comment down below which of those 6 traits you need to personally work on, okay? Out of those 6 traits, which is the one that would help you the most in terms of your social and dating life? And also comment down below your thoughts about this video and who you want me to break down next. If you like this video, make sure to click that subscribe button. It really helps out this channel to get these videos out to more people so that it helps them as well. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll talk soon.